saw one today. You know, I mean, there's a very, very low chance, like a 5% chance we would see a little shower today. There is, though, a chance we could luck out in parts of the area tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, it does look like it will be north of Houston, but I do know if you've been north of Houston, you haven't seen much rainfall either. So everybody at this point needs that rain. And unfortunately, our drought conditions are actually getting worse because we're not seeing any rainfall. But of course, for some rain in our northeastern counties. So we're going to look at that. And then lastly, as we get into the weekend, if you have those outdoor plans, get ready for it to be hot and also get ready for it to be mostly dry. It is gorgeous, though, at the beach right now. You can see a little bit of a breeze there, feeling pretty good, just a bit on the hot side. Back over here across the rest of southeast Texas, those temperatures really cranking up. Houston Hobby coming in at about 93 degrees, College Station at about 92 degrees. So it's already getting hot, and it's only going to get hotter. We're going to be looking at a temperature very close to 100 degrees today. We'll have to see if we get there. We have a forecasted high in right now of 99 degrees. Tomball, though, we're expecting 100. College Station, you're expected to exceed that 100-degree mark. But it all has to do with the heat index. And today we actually have a bit more moisture rolling in, which is making things feel hotter and more muggy. Our forecast heat index value today closer to 109 here in Houston. So that's why we have that heat advisory in effect. And it does look like the heat is here to stay. We're forecasting right around 100 degrees at least through Tuesday of next week. And it's not just us, but much of the state of Texas also dealing with this extreme heat. Dallas still under that extreme heat warning. The rest of us under this heat advisory. And for us, that will go through Friday at 7 p.m. So the afternoon today, the afternoon tomorrow, that's going to be the main time period of concern. Now, you know how I said I'd be basically winning the lottery if I saw rain today? This is why. One of our models is trying to pop up one tiny shower. So it's possible. It's not a 0% chance of rain, but it looks pretty much like we're going to end up on the drier side today. And it all has to do with this area of high pressure. But this area of high pressure could help us out as we get into Friday night as well as going into Saturday, because we could see a disturbance roll through North Texas and make its way into parts of Southeast Texas. See what I was saying? The northeast side of Southeast Texas could end up seeing some rainfall. So we'll be watching some of our northern counties as we in Saturday night. So there's a few things we'll be watching, but overall rain chances stay slim. 20% chance.
Any relief in sight?
Oh, I mean, that relief is going to be hard to come by. A few of us could see some relief as we get into tomorrow afternoon, but it looks very few and far between with who actually sees that rainfall. Now, speaking of rainfalls, since we started off the month, we have actually been in a deficit of rain. You can see so far for this month, we are down here at Bush Intercontinental Airport, almost 2.5 inches of rainfall. So unfortunately, this is creating issues with our drought conditions. This is our drought monitor from last week. It looked glorious. Pretty much all of us were outside of a level of drought. All of us were doing okay. Now, we just got in the latest drought monitor in from today, and this is what it looks like. So that drought is starting to move back into the area. We have Liberty over towards Huntsville, Columbus, Brenham, now in the abnormally dry category. And truthfully, as we get into next Thursday, when we get our next drought monitor out, I would not be surprised if that drought continues to close in, because at this point, rain chances are pretty much coming in slim at best over the next 7 to 10 days. We'll take a closer look, though, at what you can anticipate and who could possibly see that rain coming up in my full forecast.
Look at your forecast, Rachel. Let's talk about these rain chances. Are there any?
There's a few coming up in the forecast, but overall they are coming in on the slim side. 20% chance of rain in as we head into Friday and Saturday, but other than that, our rain chances are pretty much slim to none. And the reason for that, this area of high pressure that's causing the air to sink and compress instead of rising. We need that rising air to actually see those showers and thunderstorms form. But as we get into tomorrow, as well as going into the weekend, that area of high pressure could move over just enough to allow for some disturbances to try to sneak in from the north. The question, though, is whether or not those disturbances will carry in rainfall with it, because it looks like as that rain gets closer, it dies out as it makes its way here into southeast Texas and encounters as less of a favorable environment than what it's seeing up to the northern portions of the state. So this model here drags it into some of our northeastern zones closer to Trinity and Cold Spring, and then has it dissipating by the time it gets closer to I-10. So that's why we're keeping rain chances so slim. Now, what we see on Friday, we could see again as we head into Saturday, but it looks very hit or miss at this point. So let's break down some of these rain chances as we get into the rest of your day on Friday. Most of the day Friday coming in completely dry. I would say about a 10% of rain through about the mid-afternoon, and then we would up that to a 20%, especially for our northern and northeastern zones. And I feel like this model does a really good job at showing it. 20% chance of rain for some of our northern areas, and then as we get into Saturday, we see that inch down just a bit, and we see it continue to slightly inch down as we get into Saturday night going into early Sunday. The problem is, though, it's whether or not those little showers and maybe an isolated storm actually hold together. So best chance of rain going to be in our northern counties, with that decreasing the closer you get to our coastline. But with that being said, it's still not a guarantee if you're in one of our northern counties. It's still going to be hard to come by, but we'll cross our fingers. We're hoping the best that at least somebody sees some decent rainfall as we get into the next couple of days. Today, though, the main story is how hot it is going to be. 93 degrees right now. It already feels like our temperature is up at 108 degrees. Our forecasted actual high temperature today expected to be near 100 in Huntsville. Here in Houston, we're forecasting a high right around 99 degrees, and then our forecasted heat index expected to be closer to 108 to even up to 110, which is why there is a heat advisory in effect. Now, speaking of the heat advisory, tonight is a big night if you're planning on heading out to do some tailgating before the Texans take on the Raiders. Make sure that you are prepped for it. Wear that sunscreen, and also make sure that you are drinking plenty of water. Here's a look at the rest of your forecast. It's like at a splash pad or a pool of some sort. It's just too hot.
It's too much.
Yeah, even when the sun goes down, it's still hot. I'm like, oh, you know, get the kids to bed. I can take my dog for a walk. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that.
I mean, it takes a few hours after the sun sets for it to feel decent out.
Yeah, it still feels like 100 degrees at like 8 p.m. I'm like, hey, and will continue to be in effect through at least Friday at 7 p.m. I say at least because I would not be surprised if they do try to extend this into parts of the weekend. Now, all of Southeast Texas is included within this heat advisory. The main thing you want to know is that a heat advisory basically means that if you're spending a lot of time outdoors, that this heat could be on the dangerous side. And our temperatures, they're heating up. They're getting close to the triple digits. At Bush, we're looking at 98 degrees. Hobby's at 97. Galveston coming in at about 93 degrees. Quick look at your allergy report here. The weed pollen coming in moderate, so you might notice a little bit of that in the air. The mold pollen coming in on the low side. Back to our temperatures, though. Let's take a closer look. 99 in Pasadena. You're almost there. Bel Air, same thing. Jersey Village at 98. Spring coming in at 99. Same thing for the Woodlands. So let's say you're heading out to see the game, to check out the Texans taking on the Raiders. First off, if you're tailgating, be prepped for that heat and also for all of that sunshine. We are looking at mostly clear skies and also, yes, that heat. Heat advisory will continue to be in effect again through tonight going into tomorrow. So even though it says 90 degrees at 9 p.m., we're still talking some intense heat. Feels like temperatures still going to be near 100 degrees at around 8 to 9 p.m. tonight. And over the next 5 days or so, we're still going to have that potential of hitting 100 degrees when it comes to our actual temperatures. The reason for that, this area of high pressure. I know we've talked a lot about it over the last few weeks, and that's just because it's had such an impact on us here at home. It's causing the air to sink. That's decreasing our chances of rain. It's also causing the air to compress, which is really causing it to heat up. But what it could do as we get into tomorrow, specifically tomorrow night, it could allow for some disturbances to move in from the north. And that could allow for some showers and a couple storms to try to move in as well. What happens on Saturday will actually give us a good indication, or on Friday will give us a good indication on whether or not we could see that again as we head throughout the day on Saturday, especially Saturday afternoon going into the evening. Overall, though, best chances of rain as we get into tomorrow going to be in our northern counties, about a 20% chance of rain. So definitely not a washout by any means, but we'll take what we can get. Another 20